I don't drink every day, so I'm not an addict. That's what I used to think. Didn't drink every day, I had a career, my life looked fine from the outside. But what I didn't realise is that addiction doesn't always look like rock bottom. I didn't have to be on a park bench to have a problem, and convincing myself I had control when really I didn't was already part of the problem. And now, as a qualified counsellor, I get that. I've seen this pattern over and over again while helping hundreds of functioning professionals get their drink or drug use under control. So in this video, I'll break down the hidden signs of high functioning addiction, how I finally took control, and what you need to do before it's too late. And if you want to work with me or find out more about our addiction counselling program, you can click the link below to book a free one-on-one assessment with me. Now, before we dive into the hidden signs, let's look over how I even ended up in a high functioning addiction. I had finally made it. At least that's what I thought back in 2015 when I was running a successful web design and marketing company with 5 staff. I was an entrepreneur, driving around in my business partner's Mercedes wearing a suit. I had built something from nothing, proving to the world and myself that I was good enough. But inside, I was dying. Every day was a battle. I was working ridiculous hours, constantly under pressure, and the stress was unbearable. And the quickest way to cope? A drink to take the edge off, a line to keep me going, and a joint to get to sleep. At first, it was just here and there, only after work, only on weekends, only for special occasions. But those onlys, they kept on adding up. For years, I told myself I'm not an addict, I could stop any time. I didn't drink every day, I was running a business, I had my life together. From the outside, I looked like a high achiever, successful, ambitious, and driven. But behind the scenes, I was barely holding on. I was trapped in a cycle of using alcohol and drugs to manage stress, anxiety and pressure. I justified it as part of the job, part of the lifestyle, till one day I looked around and realised it was all crumbling through my hands. I spent every last penny from my business account, I was drowning in debt, I was losing my ability to function. The cracks I had ignored for so long had finally shattered everything. That was my wake-up call. I had to admit the truth. High functioning addiction is still addiction. Doesn't matter if you have a career, a family, or a successful business. If you're using alcohol or drugs to cope, addiction is already controlling you. And looking back, I didn't see the warning signs. Thought addiction meant losing everything and sitting on a park bench with a brown paper bag with vodka in it, drinking for breakfast. And clearly I wasn't that bad. So what was missing? What are the hidden signs of addiction that I missed at the time and that my clients miss as well? Well, let's dive into the top 5 right now. Number 1. Telling yourself you're drinking for the right reasons. As I mentioned previously, for me, alcohol and drugs weren't problems, they were solutions, or at least that's what I thought at the time. You know, a drink to unwind after a stressful day, a line to stay sharp, and a joint to finally sleep. I was networking, celebrating wins, and keeping up with the pressure. But looking back, that was just a way to justify my addiction. I wasn't drinking because I wanted to, I was drinking because I needed to. Now, number 2. Convincing yourself you can stop anytime. I always told myself I could stop if I really needed to. And yet, every time I tried, there was always a reason to wait. Not this week, work is too busy. Not this month, I've got too many social events. I'll cut back after this project is done. There was always another excuse. And that is the thing about addiction, it convinces you you're in control until you actually try to stop. Number 3, feeling guilt, anxiety or regret about drinking, but doing it anyway. See, I'd wake up after a night out, relaying the conversations, wondering if I'd shared too much, or said too much, or spent too much, or drank too much. I felt the weight of it, but instead of facing it, brushed off. Just need to get through this week. And that's the trap. You feel bad about drinking, but drinking is the easiest way to numb all the guilt. So the cycle continues. Number 4, looking at real alcoholics and thinking, I'm not that bad. See, I wasn't drinking in the mornings, I wasn't missing work, I wasn't homeless. But that doesn't mean I wasn't an addict. Just because your life isn't falling apart yet, doesn't mean it won't. That's exactly where high functioning addiction hides, in those grey areas where you're still keeping up appearances, still getting things done, until one day, you're not. Now number 5, using success as proof you don't have a problem. Some ways this one is the most dangerous one of them all. I had a business, employees and money coming in. I was wearing a suit, making deals and keeping up appearances. So how could I be an addict when I was so successful? The problem with high functioning addiction is that success masks the damage till the cracks start to show. And by the time you notice, you already lost more than you realise. Because addiction doesn't just care or doesn't care about your job title or your bank balance. It can be at the top of your game and still be spiraling out of control. So, what did I do to take back control of my life? Initially, I failed miserably. I thought that because my life was not that bad, I was still functioning, I could do it on my own. I would try and take breaks, set rules for myself, I'd read books, listen to podcasts, even went to AA meetings, but I didn't get the whole higher power thing. So I just kept relapsing over and over again, and I felt hopeless and helpless, like I'd be stuck in that cycle forever. Then I decided to sign up for therapy, but not just normal talking therapy, addiction therapy. And within months, I started to earn back the trust of the people around me, get some clean time under my belt, and understand why addiction was showing up in my life. Because addiction counselling helped me so much, I decided to train and become an addiction counsellor myself. So, if you've watched till now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to wonder and take this question and think about, could you stop for a month without struggling? Not just cutting back, not just replacing alcohol with another coping mechanism, but fully stopping. Now, if that makes you uncomfortable, if you're already thinking of reasons why now isn't the right time, then it's worth asking yourself, who's really in control? You or the alcohol? Look, breaking free doesn't mean losing your social life or your success. It means finally being free from the guilt, the regret, and the constant battle of trying to moderate something that keeps just pulling you back in. So if you don't even want to attempt that test or even think about it, then that could be an indication you need some extra help. So click the link below and book a free call with me to discuss your specific situation and how I can help. And I'll walk you through our tried and tested step-by-step plan on how you can cut back or quit for good without rehab, AA, or giving up your career.